Good morning, everybody. This is a video that a lot of you guys have been waiting for. A story about how Versailles was attacked. So before we jump into this video, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you get notified every single time we make a new video. Let's talk about it. First and foremost, I want to say that I don't blame pit bulls. I don't have anything against pit bulls. I've worked on 2 shows before, Pit Bulls and Parolees, and Pit Boss through Discovery Channel Communications, which is Animal Planet. So I don't have anything against the breed at all. So understand that before we even talk about any of this. On December 27th, 7:30, Versailles and I went on our last walk of the night, which is usually what I do when I have to go potty or something like that. And it was directly around my neighborhood. And I've been past this house several times before. I've seen this particular dog several times. And today just ended up being a bad day. Versailles being a female, this dog was actually male. He's about a 90-pound pit bull, and I would say he's anywhere between 3 and 5 years old, but he's a big dog. Versailles is only 75 pounds, and you know, she's little in nature and stature because that's, you know, the size of a Dutch Shepherd. As we're coming around the corner, I saw this gate open. I did not see the dog at first. I saw the owners outside. I think they were like backing in a boat or something like that. I was 2 houses down away from this house, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this pit bull charged Versailles. Ran out of his open fence. Out of nowhere, the dog just charged Versailles, came straight at us, ran out of its driveway, out of its yard, 2 houses down to where Versailles and I was at, and Versailles didn't even have a chance to react or defend herself. The pit bull immediately went to bite her stomach, bit her leg, bit her chest, where you guys saw that wound, and ultimately within a few split seconds latched straight onto her neck. The dog wasn't, you know, playing. The dog was trying to kill her. Within a few seconds, the owners came running out, and coming to the area, I immediately went. I was right there trying to get the dog off. I began physically fighting the dog. And understand this, I had a firearm at the time on me. I had a knife on me. In this particular situation, I don't think that anybody is prepared for something like this to happen. Everybody has, you know, their own version or idea of what they would do in a dog fight. And in this situation, I knew that I was armed. I knew that I had weapons on me. However, when the dogs were fighting, I was obviously loud. And the dog's owner was loud as well. And everybody was telling the dogs to stop. And in this moment, because too many neighbors and such were coming outside, I never fired my firearm. And I never even took my firearm out. I never brought the knife out. And simply because I had a choice in that few moments that Versailles could die right here, and I have to understand that. But if I discharge a firearm, I'm okay with being charged if they wanted to pursue criminal charges against me for discharging a firearm in a public area. Totally okay with that. But what I'm not okay with is I have hollow points in my firearms. And if one of my bullets goes through that dog, ricochets off the ground or something and strikes somebody, you know, I'm looking at serious charges against myself. So you have to be very decisive in your decision making. In my situation, I would say that it is probably the most dangerous thing, getting involved in an altercation and putting yourself in harm's way between you and the dog, especially when it's a pit bull and the dog is clearly aggressive. But in that moment, I had to protect my dog at all costs, and I wasn't afraid of, you know, me getting bit, in which the dog was biting me, but never actually punctured my skin. I did everything. I mean, I kicked that dog in the face as hard as I could. I punched it in the face as hard as I could, and the dog just would not let go. All my blows to that dog did nothing. The dog never released on Versailles when I was striking him. At one point during this altercation, as I'm fighting the dog, the homeowner's twack son, friend, whoever it was, actually pushed me off of Versailles. And that kind of enraged me more. And I came right back and I began really hitting the shit out of this dog. Because I couldn't believe that the guy's trying to push me off, and him being an idiot, an inexperienced dog owner, an inexperienced handler, inexperienced in getting into one of these situations, began pulling up on the dog on his neck and pulling him up on his hind back legs while he still had Versailles in his mouth. And I'm like, what the f- are you doing, dude? You don't know what you're doing. You're causing more further damage to my dog. I mean, what seemed to be, 5 minutes long, ultimately is probably 2 to 3 minutes. And it was the longest 2 to 3 minutes I think I've ever experienced. Because again, Versailles had no chance. She was on her back leg, or she was on her back laying down, and the dog is just biting her, and she just could do nothing but yelp and scream and just stare at me. And I mean, she had this look of fear in her, that it was devastating to me to have to see her go through that. And I can't even get this dog off her, and I can't even defend her in the sense of using deadly force because I don't want somebody to get injured. Now, I've thought about what I was going to do in a situation like this if I ever was involved in a serious altercation with a dog. And I thought, like John Wayne, I'm just going to shoot the dog and da-da-da. And it's weird because in that moment, that decision making had to be very precise. Because so many people could have got injured. If my son was involved, or right there, it would have, there's just so many different scenarios that could have happened. So I think that it ended up being the best case scenario out of anything. Versailles had on her 2-inch tactile pup collar and her prong collar. Again, I didn't have her remote collar on or anything like that because it was literally around our neighborhood, and I didn't even think I was going to need what she had on her. So I wasn't really prepared for that. Now, the house that this happened from, I know the female. She's actually really nice. She's deaf, not that it matters. Sit down. But, I've seen her multiple times, as I said, and actually what's even worse is that her son died this last year from a brain aneurysm while he was driving his vehicle. And this was actually her son's dog, who actually used to, take care of the dog and stuff. So she's kind of been stuck with the dog. And honestly, this dog is just, neglected. Obviously, it eats and has food and water, but, the dog just sits in the backyard. Nobody walks it. Nobody does anything with it. Obviously, it doesn't have a training because it's never been socialized, and this wouldn't have happened. Cops finally show up at my house. 2 cops come right away within 3 minutes of the initial call. So they had a quick response, whether they were in the area, whatever. They end up going over to the house and citing them. So the next day, I get a hold of animal control, and they actually come over, do a full statement and everything like that, and go over and cite the dog. And this is just a long process of the whole bullshit of dealing with a dog attack. So she was cited from the police department and animal control services. The shitty thing about all this is that with animal control in the city I live in, they pretty much have their hands tied. They can only do so much without city council implementing laws, new measures, regulations, whatever. And actually, the end result, which is going to piss a lot of people off, is here I had sympathy for not only the dog owner, I have sympathy for the dog. Later on was that I found out she gets a $35 citation and she has to pay my medical bills, which, that's not, I guess it's something, but either way, you're going to have to pay for your dog's medical regardless, right? But, a $35 citation for a dog that literally, if that was a child, if that was an elderly person or an elderly woman that's her last dog, her husband died, 5 years ago, and that's all she has, that little dog, and this huge dog's that killed it now. It's a different outcome, and it's what is it going to take for somebody to get off their lazy ass and do something about it? You know what I mean? And the problem is that it's not the homeowner. It's the homeowner when it comes to the sense of the homeowner needs to be held accountable and responsible for the dog's action, but the city needs to be held liable and accountable as well if they're going to implement the dumbest regulations or city ordinances that there is out there for events that happen like this. If you guys like this kind of content, these kind of discussions, make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you get notified every single time we make a new video. In this situation, I don't blame the dog at all. I believe that the dog's being set up for failure to this day because they haven't done anything. A $35 citation, the dog doesn't get walked as it is. You think that a $35 citation is going to do anything to his owners? No. What really needs to happen is there needs to be a stiffer penalty or fine, or dogs that do this, need to either be surrendered and let the city deal with it or the county deal with it, or ultimately they need to be euthanized. Some dogs, unfortunately, that have these unprovoked attacks like this, they can't be fixed. There's some people in the world, they can't be fixed. They're just messed up in their head and do evil actions that require serious consequences. When a dog shows this type of aggression completely unprovoked, that is a liability and a safety hazard in itself. Versailles, come here. It's a serious situation because we're just walking by. Versailles never barked, never growled, never showed any interest in this dog, and this dog just came at us. Could you imagine if that was a child? The city would be up against some serious backlash if they handled this situation like that. And what's even wilder is that even though the dog bit me, it didn't cause puncture wounds, so they didn't even take the dog in on a 10-day hold. And that's nothing. The animal control can only do what they're allowed to do within reason by city ordinance. And so in this situation, a lot of my frustration venting, I would say 90% is directed at the city. It's just frustrating that people have to be subjected to this until something really seriously happens, that they're going to wake up and smell the roses and be like, oh shit, what do we do now? Either I'm going to turn into Terminator or John Wayne, I'm going to start killing dogs around here, because this isn't the first situation. Enough of you guys who are involved with me when I do my live videos on TikTok and Instagram every morning, you've seen several times that just dogs out of nowhere have ultimately came out, charged us, whatever. We've had an attack already, a situation with another pit bull. It's just the area that I live in, I don't feel safe. I don't feel comfortable. right now I have to carry, a sidearm with me wherever I go now, because I don't want to be attacked by a dog or I don't want my dog attacked. It's ridiculous that I had to walk around my neighborhood like this is the Wild Wild West, while the city sits around their fucking ass and drinks lattes all day and talks about other stupid shit that nobody cares about in the city. Truthfully, I don't want this lady, I don't want her life, ruined. I don't want to take civil action and file this huge civil suit against her, because that's not gonna, what is it gonna do? It's not gonna change anything. What's gonna change something is my city doing something about it. And so that's where I'm gonna take my frustration. That's where I'm gonna channel the aggression, the frustration, what I feel for myself, what Versailles probably felt in that scenario. Is I'm gonna team up with an attorney, and we're just gonna, write up something where I can go to one of those city council meetings and hopefully open up discussion or something where we can change the city ordinance, because this happens frequently. If you go on my Facebook public forum and you go on the city I live in, there's a dog attack yesterday. 2 dogs attacked a 75-year-old man. So it's clear that these homeowners out here need to be held responsible and have way more harsh sentences than what they're getting right now. I've never seen such irresponsible pet owners in my entire life. I've never lived in a city that honestly had so many idiot pet owners that God, I can just imagine if they can't take care of a dog or a cat, what the hell are they doing with their kids? You know what I mean? That's what I think about. You can't care for this dog, how the hell are you going to care for your kids? So I just think the message needs to be a lot clearer, and the accountability needs to be much more stern in the approach. Again, I don't blame this dog. at all. This could be any dog, you know, several dogs. Just because it's a pit bull, that doesn't mean anything. You know, there's several dogs. There's Dalmatians, a Belgian Malinois, Dutch Shepherd, a German Shepherd. They could be just as aggressive as that dog was. But you know what it is? It's dumbass people that shouldn't be dog owners in the beginning, but it's just dumb people that they don't get dog trainers. They don't do the smart thing, you know? I mean, you need to socialize your dog. And I'm not talking, you don't have to go to the dog park and take your dog and have him go hang out with dogs all the time. Take him outside the dog park and go around it. So your dog's just being exposed to other dogs. And when the dog reacts, you give him a correction, you know? But the number one thing is people need to get dog trainers, you know? Because you don't want to pay the cost of a dog trainer, do you want to pay the cost of your dog either dying, you going to court, or spend a measly $500, $1,000 on dog training, save yourself the nightmare and the headache from that, and teach your dog the right way to live? I mean, I did it. It's not fun having to spend that kind of money, but it's the responsible and the right thing to do. My biggest fear out of all this is, obviously I haven't had Versailles that long, so my biggest fear was, how is she going to react to this? What is the outcome going to be for her, just as much as what the outcome was for the dog that attacked her? And I immediately obviously called Courtney that day and Maligator Mom and told them what had happened. When Courtney got a hold of me, though, I mean, Courtney told me one of the first things off the bat is you're going to have to go back to that area, and you can't avoid that area. Like, I don't know about how I feel about that. Versailles and I are getting ready to walk past the house where the dog attacked her at. So let's see her reaction and see how she does. I'd be lying right now if I didn't say I have anxiety about this right now. But like Courtney says, she's calm, collective, send down the lead, a calm and collective whole. We are walking past it right now. That is the house right there. Good girl. Yeah, good. You know, part of the thing that Courtney told me is how she's going to respond to this is how you're going to lead this. And I think that was a really powerful statement, because it makes you think, like, I have to put my feelings and shit aside, my emotions out of all this, and go into this as a civilized person. Because if not, I have a dog that has been trained to bite people. I have a dog that is prone to be a very aggressive type of dog because she's a Dutch Shepherd, no different than a Mal. So it's my responsibility as a pet owner to make things right and to show her that it's okay. She has days where we've walked by that house several times now, and she has days where, like, it really bothers her. She wants to walk past, her tail goes down, her ears tucked down. But we ultimately just, I make it a positive experience going by that, no matter how uncomfortable it is for both of us, so that she sees that it's okay. Now, granted, I mean, I put the city police department and animal control on blast. I said, there won't be a round two. I'm not going to be gracious this next time. This next time, I'm going to be calling you to pick up a dead dog. That's what's going to happen. Because this has happened to her 2 days after this incident, the dog, another pit bull that lives directly behind the dog that attacked her, got out of its yard. The gate wasn't even closed, and the dog came straight at us. I had a firearm, and I drew on that dog. As there's traffic coming by, the people had to stop, but the dog's starting to charge me, and I'm yelling, "Get back, get back, get back, get back." And the dog, and the end result, goes back into his yard, and I don't have to shoot it. But I'm not going to go through round two. I will shoot a dog. As much as I don't want to, I can see that my city ordinance doesn't give a shit how much I paid for this dog. They don't care what happened to Versailles ultimately, because it doesn't bother them. You know, they're sitting back, like I said, drinking their lattes, and animal control has their hands tied. So I'm well within my right to defend myself, my property, and my dog. And that's what I will do. And I will use deadly force in this situation if it arises again. I'll do everything I can to defuse the situation before I have to use deadly force, telling the dog to get back, throw a rock, whatever. But if it comes to the point where it does again, there's no calling animal control. It's going to be a hollow point bullet in the dog's head. Now, you may not agree with it. You may think that's a harsh thing. Honestly, I really don't care. how you think, that's how I feel, you know. I look at my dogs as people, you know, in a weird way. Like they're like kids to me, you know. They're such a part of my life. I have to protect them, and I will, just like if it was my son. Now with Versailles, all I can do is make things positive, continue our training, and not make this thing a lasting effect where it's negative, where I show any type of aggression going past the house, seeing other dogs, and being still responsible if she becomes reactive in situations where other dogs might show reactivity. I would say the moral to this story is be aware of your surroundings, but the number one biggest thing is get off your lazy ass and put your dog through dog training. Situations like this can not only help save another dog, but keep you out of trouble. And it's not a healthy situation for a dog to have that kind of built up frustration or socialization problems. That's not a healthy life or a fun life to live. If you can't care for a dog, do the dog a favor and take it to a no-kill shelter where somebody else could pick up your slack and give that dog an opportunity. I can't stress that enough. Just get a dog trainer. Make sure that you guys are doing everything responsible and in your power to ensure the best quality of life for your pet. Now, please, guys, again, this is my version. These are my opinions and my expressions in this video. Please go over and head over to Maligator Mom, to her YouTube channel, and watch the video that they're going to do on what you should do in a dog fight from a real professional dog trainer's point of view, which is Global Canine. So this is actually Versailles' first time that I've ever taken her to a vet appointment. I don't know how this is gonna go. I loaded her up. I got the muzzle just in case. I don't know if they're gonna need to sedate her, but let's go and see what the doctor said. Wait there. Currently at the vet during COVID, and this is kind of their protocol. They have to take the dog back. You have to wait in the room. And yeah, so Versailles went back. We're gonna wait on the doctor, take a look at her. They're gonna see if she needs to have stitches or not in the one puncture wound. But yeah, we'll go from there.
Yeah. Good evening, Joshua.
Yeah. Hi, Mama. Hi. Hi, Mama.
Alrighty, I'm not sure if he's all done.
Okay. Hi, Mama. Hi. Hi, baby girl. Hi. Hi, Mama. Want a cookie? Want a cookie? You're such a good girl. Oh, good girl. Not bad for the first time at the vet, huh? Whoa, there it is. Good girl. Come on, Versailles, sit down. Thank you. Lay down. Yes, good girl.
Are they like best friends,
Who?
Apollo and her?
Hey, thank you. Sit down. Have a great day. Good girl, come on. Yeah, good girl. Good girl, Mom. any dog can become aggressive. Any dog can have dog aggression, people aggression, food aggression. Any dog can have these problems. There's not an isolated dog that goes, oh my God, pit bulls are just bad, like the media depicts it. You know, it's just unfortunate that a lot of pit bulls have been in those kind of situations, and that just shows that it's not the dog, it's whoever raised that dog that influenced that dog in the wrong way. You have the power to change things, so have the power to unchange them and give that dog the best opportunity in life and enjoy life. Be able to come out here with your dog, go on walks with them, experience adventures with them. Dogs love you unconditionally. The minute that there becomes a problem or an issue is because of things that you've failed as a dog owner and as a person. Please go over to Maligator Mom, to her YouTube channel, and watch the video that they're going to do on what you should do in a dog fight from a real professional dog trainer's point of view, which is Global Canine. Thank you guys so much for joining. Make sure that you guys like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.